Hey everyone, it's the DJ Doctor once again, here to give you some tips for Serato DJ and help you in your quest to become a DJ. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is go over how to analyze your music. Now, you should be using DJ friendly music, which means you should be using music with an 8-bar intro and an 8-bar outro. And there are several places you can get DJ friendly music. I will leave some in the description below. But I do use mix show tools, which I am very happy with. I know it's hard to get, but if you can get that, that would be fantastic. And there are others. Like I said, I will go ahead and leave the description on those below. And as you move along in your journey to become a DJ, you will see the importance of using DJ friendly music. So we're going to start off here. We have a song by Selena Gomez, Same Old Love. It is a remix. And as you can see here, the BPMs are at 102 BPMs or beats per minute. And it's basically talking about the tempo of the song. So what we want to do with your controller unplugged or disconnected from the computer, go ahead and grab the song, click on it, and drag it into right above where it says Analyze File. Okay, so that's going to be the first process. But before we do that, let's go ahead and click the button next to where it says Analyze Files. Click the drop down menu. And we see here that there are some options here. Analysis settings. The first thing is set key. Do we want it to set key? Well, one of the great things about Serato DJ 1.8.1 is that it now analyzes and tells you the key in which it plays, which is going to be very helpful when it comes to mixing songs that really blend well together. So the first thing that we need to do is decide, do we want that clicked on or we want it off? And generally we do want it on. It's an option that we have. The only time that I would say, well, we'll go over a couple other options as we go along. So let's unclick that for now, but we also want to make sure that we have this clicked on where it says set Beatgrid. Now, if you're using cue points and automatic loops and that kind of stuff, you are going to need to have that clicked on, or else it's just not going to function correctly. It's not going to loop in the section which you want it to loop. So it's just not going to go as well if you're using it in a live setting. So we do want that clicked at one point. So let's go over a few other things here. So we're going to go ahead and set it so that it's set, so that we set the key. Now here's the other option. If you already have all your music analyzed and the only thing that you want is to have it analyze the key because you've upgraded to Serato 1.81 and you've already had your music analyzed and you've already had it beat gridded, and you don't want it messed with, what you want to do is only set it to analyze the key. But let's just say we have a song that we don't have the key set for. We're going to set the key, we're going to set the beat grid, and then it also gives you an option to choose the range to which you want the BPM set. So obviously, if we can see here, it's already kind of given us an idea as to what BPM it's at. It plays at 102 beats per minute. So we would want to click something that would fall in between 102. I generally set the majority of my music, nowadays with we got trap coming out and stuff that just playing really, really at a low BPM. It's kind of offsetting that, and you'll have to make adjustments. But for the most part, the majority of music is going to fall between 78 beats per minute and 155 beats per minute. So it also gives me the option to analyze my entire library if I want to do that, which is going to take a very, very long time. So I don't want to do that. If you're a starting out DJ, you're going to kind of analyze as you go, and it's not going to be so overwhelming. So, all right, so we went ahead and set those two parameters and set the beats per minute, the range that we want. And so we're going to kind of just close that out. And then we're going to go ahead and again go back to clicking our song and dropping it into the analyze file. So as we see, it's analyzing. It only takes a short while, and generally it's doing 4 to 8 depending on what type of computer you have. I'm using my older MacBook Pro, but I also have a Retina, which is significantly faster. So so it went ahead and told us that this key told us the key in which the song plays, which is going to be very helpful when you're mixing your music and you want to make sure that it's harmonic. So and you know, that's going to be saved for another video, but you know, if you're going to use the Camelot system, you know, I suggest you use that so you know what songs work well with each other. So the song that we just analyzed plays in B minor, and you would want to mix something, you know, either in the same key or, you know, at a 12A or at a 7A, but again, that's set for another video, so we'll go ahead and do that video at a later time. So we've got our song. The next thing that we want to check is make sure that the Beatgrid is set correctly. And generally for DJ friendly music with intros and outros, it does a good job of setting that. So we're gonna go ahead and do a shortcut. We've highlighted the song. We're gonna hit Shift and the left arrow. Oops. So Shift and left arrow, and as you can see, it has set the beat grid correctly. So the first beat here, or the downbeat, is set at 1. So if we play the song, we can see that the next downbeat is set at 4 also. So so it's correct, and it's done a good job. Now let's just say that it was a bit off. What you can do is hit here on the top left where my arrow is, edit beat grid. You would go over to the right and adjust it either using these 2 little arrows, and then at the end you would hit save and it would hit save. So this is going to be very helpful when you're gonna automatically loop your music. So first thing that I do is when I get as close to the downbeat and set the first cue point there. So that's the first thing I do when I get a song, is automatically set that cue point, because I use that quite a bit. So if I were to hit play, I can always go back to that same drop. And you want to make sure when you do hit that key point that you're doing it on beat and you're not just doing it at a random place. We do have the quantize feature, which will assist you guys who don't have your timing quite down, but I would definitely get good at your timing and make sure that you're on beat, and you know, that really is at the foundation of what a DJ is, and making sure that everything's on beat and harmonic. So okay, so we've got that part done, and feel pretty good about that. So now that we're kind of moving on, for those beginning DJs, we do have in the top right section this little kind of exclamation mark, if you will. If you click that, now we're able to kind of move our arrow, and it's going to tell us a description as to what everything is. So if you ever wonder, hey, what's that little button to the top left? Well, it's going to give you a description as to what everything is, so that you can go ahead and get informed as to what this powerful DJ software does. So we're going to go ahead and unclick that. The next thing that you want to do is go over to where it says setup and click that, and you're gonna set up all your preferences. Every DJ is different and has different preferences as far as how they want their music set up. So some people want the sync off, the simple sync or the smart sync, which was kind of hard to get on board with the whole sync thing, since I come from real vinyl, but it seems to work well on smart sync if you have all of your music properly beat gridded and analyzed. So go through all these, make sure that you have all your settings correctly, buffer size, text library size, whether you want it smaller or bigger. For those people who do not have a preference, it generally gives you an option for, or if you don't know enough to have an opinion, it gives you an option for what is recommended or the default settings, and I would go for those at the beginning. Now, when you have your key analyzed on your songs, you can either do a classical key, an open key, an original tag, or the Camelot, which is what I use because I do use the Camelot wheel. So check that out and determine what works best for you, and do a little research on that. We will do a follow-up video on that. So here's where you have all your effects on there, and you can kind of go through a favorite effects, and we can kind of go through that, and it'll take a while, so just kind of do your research on that. Expansion packs, if you bought an expansion pack like Serato Video, like I have, which I completely recommend, it'll be listed on there, and you can go ahead and click that. So DJ preference is definitely important. Also, if you're doing a DVS setup where you're using control vinyl, I would do the setup and play it. Make sure your needle is responding properly. But again, that's for another video. This is kind of more geared towards beginning DJs who are using something more affordable like a controller. But nevertheless, a lot of useful information. So down to the left, like I said, we're using Serato 1.8.1. and it is the latest version. If we are not sure whether we have the latest version, we just go ahead and click this check for updates. And it says here you are running an older version of Serato DJ version 1.8.1. The latest official release is DJ 1.9.0. So we'll go ahead and do a video on the latest version of Serato, or how to update your Serato when a later version comes out. So we'll go ahead and do that at a later time. So we can go ahead and get out of this, go back to Serato and get out of the setup, and we'll go over a few things maybe kind of these buttons here. We have files, say that we have something in our desktop, then we can go ahead and analyze it that way. Let's see here, browse your music, prepare, history. History is going through what I've played in the last year and the last 7 years, which is really useful if you're wanting to do kind of a party that's at a certain era. You can kind of get that, or if you wanted to post last night's playlist, this is where you would go also. So. And then, as you can see, when you do play a song, it does highlight as played. So once you want to start a fresh new set, you want to hit down here at the center right, hit the clear button. It'll clear any songs that are highlighted as played. So let me think of anything else that we can make a video on, but I think that's quite a bit for now. You've learned quite a bit. So actually, before I finish, one thing that I did want to also go over is once you've got your song together and you've beat gridded it correctly, and you got it to where you want it to be, and you don't want it messed with, so there's an option to lock your settings here. So, and the way you set it is by clicking, if you have a Mac, hit Control and click your button, and then you're set. So maybe on a PC it might be like a right click and then you'd click that. And now this song cannot be tampered with even when it's analyzed or if you accidentally analyze it. So that is very important if you kind of have specific settings and want it set a certain way, and you want the cue point and the downbeat to be at a certain place, and then you accidentally analyze it. It's not going to go ahead and erase those tags that you have already spent all this time doing. So I hope this helps. Please contact me if you want to, if you have a specific question or want me to do a certain video. Like I said, the next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and update our Serato to the latest version, and then